Well, good evening and thank you for joining us for a special election coverage tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. The drop boxes just closed about half an hour ago for the Washington primary, and we're starting to get our first look at the results tonight. We have live team coverage as the results are coming in. Both Amanda Rowley and Kyle Simchuk are at watch parties here in Spokane. We'll come back to both of them here in just a few moments.
But first, a quick explainer on how winners are decided in the Washington primary.
So Washington is a top 2 primary state, and here's how that works. Voters are deciding which candidates appear on the general election ballot in November. So regardless of party affiliation, all of the candidates appear in a single group on the ballot. The 2 candidates, regardless of which party they're in, who collect the highest number of votes are the ones who will advance to the general election, which is Tuesday, November 8th. So it is possible there won't be both a Democrat and a Republican in each of these races.
One of the biggest races that we are tracking tonight, one of Washington's 2 Senate seats, is up for grabs. Incumbent Democrat Patty Murray looking to secure a 6th term. There are 18 candidates, but pre-election polling showed the biggest player is Republican challenger Tiffany Smiley right here. Smiley is a former nurse from Pasco, and this is the first time that she is running for elected office. So let's take a look at those results right now if we can. So far, Patty Murray in the lead with 55% of the vote. Tiffany Smiley behind with 32% of the vote.
Now let's take a look at the race for the U.S. House in the 5th District here in Eastern Washington. Incumbent Cathy McMorris Rodgers facing 3 challengers for her seat. She's seeking a 5th term now in the U.S. House. 2 Democratic challengers, Natasha Hill and Anne Marie Danamis, both are from Spokane. Hill is an attorney and an adjunct law professor. Danamis owns Spokane Metro Woman magazine. Meantime, there is also a Republican challenger, Sean Clinch, who is an Army veteran who served with the 82nd Airborne. And as we take a look at the results, clearly the incumbent, Congresswoman Cathy McMorris Rodgers, in the lead tonight with 50% of the vote. The next candidate with the top number of votes is Natasha Hill there with 31% of the vote tonight. So we want to turn now to Amanda Rowley, who is live at the Republican watch party right now here in Spokane. That is where Congresswoman McMorris Rodgers is celebrating these early results for the primary election.
Amanda, how are things going out there this evening?
Well, things are buzzing here at the Spokane County Republicans Party here at Barrister Winery. Joining me this evening is Congresswoman Cathy McMorris Rodgers. How are you feeling right now? We have, you running for now a 10th term. What do you hope is going to be different in this next term, looking ahead?
It's an honor to represent the people of Eastern Washington, and I'm so grateful for their continued support. As I think about the next Congress, I'm hopeful that I will be the chair of the House Energy and Commerce Committee, and it's a great committee for the people of Eastern Washington. It's a committee that's at the forefront of addressing gas prices and ensuring that America is energy independent, that we also are leading in the technological innovations that will ensure that we lead the world in bringing down carbon emissions. And I'm excited about leading this committee all around Eastern Washington. We're at the forefront of energy supply, clean, renewable, reliable, affordable energy, and I'm excited about highlighting that for the country.
Now, early unofficial results show that you and Democratic candidate Natasha Hill are moving on to the general election. What message do you have tonight for voters?
Well, for voters, I'm proud. I have deep roots in Eastern Washington. I believe in the American dream. I believe in our way of life. I have had tremendous opportunities, and I want to make sure that we continue for our children and our grandchildren to have those opportunities for a better life. And here in Eastern Washington, there's a lot of good people that are doing their part to make that happen, and I'm just so honored to represent them. I look forward to getting out and meeting people and hearing what's on their minds.
One last question. You've won several terms now. Does that feeling ever get old?
Oh, you never take anything for granted. And it's one where it's always important to be listening to people, hearing what's on their minds. That makes me a better legislator, and I am ready and excited to continue to lead for this district in Congress on issues that are going to make a difference in people's lives, raise our standard of living, increase opportunities, whether it's energy or healthcare or helping individuals with disabilities. There's a lot of work to be done.
Thank you so much, Congresswoman, for your time. Mark and Whitney, I will send it back to you, reporting from Barrister Winery for the Spokane County Republican Party. Amanda Rowley, back to you.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. Now we turn to Congressional District 4, which includes this entire section here in blue. That is for Central Washington, the incumbent Republican Dan Newhouse, hoping to keep the House seat that he has held since 2015. But he could face some backlash from voters after he voted to impeach former President Donald Trump after the January 6th insurrection. So he is up against 7 other candidates, including Republican Lauren Culp. He is a former police chief, and you'll recall Culp lost to Governor Jay Inslee. That was in the 2020 gubernatorial race. He refused to concede, though, claiming election fraud, although he never produced any proof of that. So as we take a look here at the results, obviously right now, Dan Newhouse, 27% of the vote. Doug White right behind him here with 26% of the vote tonight for District 4.
Meanwhile, for the Spokane County Sheriff's Office race, longtime Sheriff Ozzie Knezevich announced that he would not be seeking re-election this year. Candidates Wade Nelson, John Knowles, and Mike Zollers could be the next sheriff to hold the position, or the first sheriff to hold that position other than Ozzie in 15 years. As you can see right now, Knowles currently in the lead, Nelson in second. Again, the top 2 vote getters advance to the general election in November. Also in Spokane County, incumbent Spokane County prosecutor Larry Haskell is being challenged by 3 other candidates in this primary election. And right now, if we take a look at the votes right here, well, no, this is, for prosecuting attorney. We're looking at the results right here, and you can see those percentages on the screen right now. In the Spokane County auditor's race, both incumbent Vicki Dalton and candidate Bob McCaslin, the only 2 running in this race, will be both advancing to the general election right there. This is for Spokane County Auditor we're looking at right now, and Tom Konis, well, this is not exactly correct. Vicki Dalton and Bob McCaslin, the only 2 candidates running. You can see right now Vicki Dalton in the lead. Tom Konis is running for assessor, not that other position.
We'll try to get that all sorted out. In the meantime, Kyle Simchuk is live from the Democrat Watch Party. And Kyle, a lot of challengers out there tonight. What's the mood in the room there?
Well, Whitney, we're expecting candidates to arrive here in about 20 minutes and deliver speeches. We understand that they've actually had their own individual watch parties with close friends and family, but they're expected to come here around 9 o'clock and give speeches. Right now, you have a lot of volunteers and organizers here, and they're pretty excited with some of the results they're seeing, specifically with the Spokane County Commissioner races. Maggie Yates is currently leading incumbent County Commissioner Al French, who was elected to Spokane City Council back in 2002. She's leading 45 to 39%. And over to District 2 County Commissioner race, Amber Waldriff leading Michael Cathcart. He is a current Spokane City Council person. Amber Waldriff, also a former city council person, so she is leading Cathcart there, 55 to 32%, pretty healthy lead. And again, with these Washington primaries, it's the top 2 that advance to the November election. And looking at the U.S. Congressional 5th District, incumbent Kathy McMorris Rogers, she's facing a number of challengers. It appears that Natasha Hill, though, she is at 33%, a pretty strong lead over the other challengers there. So like I said, we're expecting candidates to get here around 9 o'clock. We'll be interviewing them, getting reactions. We'll bring you that on KREM 2 News at 10 and 11. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Kyle, thank you very much. We'll check back in with you later tonight. Also up for grabs tonight, the Secretary of State seat. Democrat Steve Hobbs currently has the job. He was appointed by Governor Jay Inslee in 2021 after Republican Kim Wyman took a job in the Biden administration.
So there are 8 people running for this particular seat tonight. Let's take a look at the early results as we see Steve Hobbs there with 42% of the vote. Julie Anderson there with 13% of the vote tonight. And this year, Spokane County voters are selecting 5 county commissioners. This is for the very first time.
For the past 183 years, Spokane County has been run by 3 county commissioners. So let's take a look at the results so far right now. So this is in District 1 right now. 2 candidates are running. Chris Jordan easily in the lead right now over Kim Pleas, 56% to 44%. And since there are only 2 candidates running, both will advance to the general election in November. However, the current numbers show again Jordan in the lead tonight.
And in District 2, there are 4 candidates running for this seat. That includes current city council member for Spokane, Michael Cathcart. This race could have an impact on Spokane City Council, of course, if he were to move on in the general. Right now, we have Amber Waldriff, who is in the lead with 56% of the vote over Michael Cathcart's 33%.
District 3 covers Northeast Spokane. 2 candidates are running in this race. Incumbent Josh Kearns is running against Wild Bill Schreiner. Again, since only 2 candidates are running, both will be advancing to the general election right now. However, the current numbers show Josh Kearns in the easily in the lead with 77% of the vote compared to 23% of the vote for Schneider.
And in District 4, 3 candidates are running. That includes the incumbent, Mary Cooney, Chris McIntosh, and Paul Brian Noble. Right now, you can see Paul Brian Noble is coming in second with 28%, but the incumbent, Mary Cooney, clearly in the lead at this point with almost 60% of the vote.
And finally, for Spokane County Commissioner District 5, 4 candidates are running, including incumbent Al French, Tara Carter, Don Harmon, and Maggie Yates. A look at the results so far. Maggie Yates in the lead tonight, 45% of the vote compared to incumbent Al French's 40% of the vote. And there are 6 state representative races that we are tracking tonight.
Yeah, let's take a look as we start looking at some of those results right now. We begin with, this is for Grant County Sheriff, I guess. Let's take a look at that. Well, okay, let's not take a look at that. There we go. Joey Crete with now 48% of the vote. This is for, again, the sheriff's office in Grant County. Joe Harris there coming in second with 29% of the vote. Now let's take a look for 2 candidates running for State Representative District 3. If we have those graphics, we can take a look at the position 1. Nope, that's not it either. Okay, let's take a look at Grant County Clerk then, with Kimberly Allen with 65% of the vote, clearly in the lead right now against Marla Rodunner with 22%.
All right, let's roll on to the next results that we're tracking tonight. If you could pull up the next graphic for the election that we are covering tonight. Again, the Washington primary, the top 2 vote getters tonight. We'll move on to the general election in November, which means that the winners tonight, they're not going to necessarily win the race. They're just moving on to the general in November. So much to get through before that.
And this is kind of not necessarily the norm for most races here across the country. That top 2 doesn't always mean that it's one from every party. So a lot of people have been a little bit confused by that, but it could mean 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans. You never know. The
voters in Washington passed that initiative back in 2008. I believe we were one of the first states to have the top 2 candidates moving on so far. We are just getting started for our special edition of our election coverage tonight. You're streaming on the web tonight, so we appreciate you guys weighing in. We're still waiting for some results to kind of populate in our graphics right now. But again, no big surprises, I would say, so far moving out. Maybe a few that were unexpected. But again, this is just the primary, the big race, of course, the general in November.
So if we have some more graphics, are we able to take a look at that? If not, then we can just make sure that you continue to join us for KREM 2 News coming up at 10 and 11. Okay, now we're hearing that we have one of our reporters, KREM 2's Amanda Rowley, who is out at the Republican watch party right now with County Commissioner Al French, who right now does not appear to be in the lead, although he is, of course, the incumbent candidate. So let's turn to Amanda Rowley right now.
Great. Yeah, hi guys. Joining me here is Republican candidate, Spokane County Commissioner Al French, running for District 5. Now, what term is this? This is a couple number of terms you've run here. So, how are you feeling tonight?
Well, actually, we feel extremely well. You know, you got 2 Republicans on the ticket, so take the 2 of them together, you got 52%. And Republicans typically vote late, so we're feeling real good about the race. And this is pretty much where we thought we were going to be, and we're glad to be here.
And I want to talk to you about that. There was mentioned in the speeches earlier today at the watch party that there was a huge turnout of Republican candidates for Spokane County. Does that surprise you at all?
No, not really. I think, you know, you look at what's going on at the national level and at the state, and, you know, people are looking for, you know, leadership, and that's what we're getting out of the Republican Party. So not surprised at all.
You've thrived, and rather than survived, thrived through the pandemic.
Yes.
Just heard you mention in your speech earlier that you're not looking to approve any further property tax increases. Can you talk about that?
Oh, you bet. No, I've pledged that I'm not going to support any property tax increase for the county for next year. The citizens out there, they're not getting any help from the feds. They're not getting help in Olympia. So I've pledged that I'm going to help them out, and I don't care how much your assessed valuation increased. I'm not going to support any property tax increase next year.
Oh, and we're getting a little quiet here, so we'll wrap things up. The county has now added 2 additional district seats. It's here now, whether we like it or not. And Michael Cathcart's running for that office. And what do you see in the future for the county Board of Commissioners?
Well, it's clearly going to be different than what we've experienced in the past and stuff. So we'll adjust to this new form of government. And I know that when I doorbell out there, there's a lot of frustration. But we'll get through it.
Any message to the voters? We've got the unofficial results coming in. It looks like you're moving on to the general election. Any message to the voters tonight?
Well, just to all of those that supported me, thank you very much. For all of those that voted stand with us, and we'll have a winning ceremony on election night.
Thank you so much. I'll appreciate it.
Take care.
Margaret Whitney, that's all for now. Talking with County Commissioner running for re-election here, Al French. Again, we are at the Spokane County Republicans Watch Party. I'll give you a quick look. We do have the Spokane County Clerk, Tim Fitzgerald, who is emceeing the event. He is also running unopposed this year. So we'll be listening into this, hoping to grab a couple other candidates to talk to, and I'll send it back to you guys.
Amanda, thank you very much. We'll check back in with you later tonight as we continue our election coverage. In the meantime, there are 6 state representative races that we are tracking today.
So let's bring up the graphics and let's take a look right now. This is not that. Again, we're taking a look at the Grant County Commissioner office now. Okay. We're not going to do that either, but we do know that right now Marcus Riccelli running for re-election, but there are only 2 candidates running for that particular seat, so both of them, of course, will be advancing into the general election in November.
Yeah, 3 candidates are running for State Representative District 2, Position 2. Incumbent Democrat Tim Ormsby also seeking re-election. These are the top 2 candidates right now. We'd show you the graphics, but we're having some bugs, some issues with the graphics right now, so we'll just continue to move on and cover some more races.
That's the nature of election night, right? Live
Always
TV, you
fluid,
never know what's
sure.
going to happen. Let's take a look at District 4, Position 1, if we can. There are 3 candidates running for this open seat. These are the top 2 leading right now. If we can take a look at those numbers. I don't think we're going to have that. Well, we hope that you'll come and join us here for KREM 2 News at 10 and 11 tonight. We're going to take a look at all these different graphics. We're going to work out the bugs, and we'll make sure that we've got all the latest returns for you.
Thank you for joining us for the special edition of KREM 2 News. We're back at KREM 2 News at 10 o'clock on the CW22 and then KREM 2 News at 11 on Channel 2. Hope to see you then. Until then, have a good night.
Good night.